Hi, Wild Ones. I'm in the midst of working on a silk painting commission and setting up my silk studio. And it has been a wild ride today. All the jacquard products coming kind of, I would say, in bottles that aren't really usable. So you have to decant everything. And this is the gutta, the kind of honey like consistency paste that you put on to draw with. The dye into squeeze bottles to work with. This is concentrate, so this will actually get mixed with water, but it's just a little bit easier to work from a squeeze bottle format. So I feel like I'm set up for success tomorrow. I'm going to paint tomorrow morning.
I wanted to give you a look at how small the setup is. Those are all the dyes and all the guttas, and I did tint quite a few guttas, some sea salt, rubbing alcohol, and then here's the actual larger dyes in their bigger bottles, some extra bottles, some funnels to move stuff with, and then the only other thing you have is I have some pens, and then this is a gutta that you put on at the very end to iron on, and it is pretty nice. There's where I played with the pens and the last bit of gutta. I really like how the silver and gold look on top. And this is a rolled hem foot on a Bernina machine, and you kind of fold over the fabric so that it goes into that little tiny rolled hem, and the foot itself does the work. I did just look at a couple YouTube videos for that.
So I have my first kind of wild layer of gutta on. I built the frame today, and I'm using fabric clips and elastic and elastic hair ties to create a frame that holds the paint off, or painting off the bottom, and has no touching. I think I'm going to be happy with this. I'm not quite happy with how thin my frame is versus my piece. I did run into a problem where I needed it to be up a little higher, so I raided my pantry for some cans.
And this is adding that watered down paint or dye to the surface, and I'm using a brush I got from Michaels, and just going in, and I have probably 4 different purple colors and blues that I'm working with in this big dark sky. This is for a later piece. So to
Okay,
steam
this
the
is my
pieces, to
setup
set the
for
dye, you build this homemade
steaming
steamer. That's a
the
canning
silks. I have a propane
jar.
tank.
I
This double
needed
burner
some
is going to get replaced
aluminum
because it's
foil
not
to
doing
make
so well.
them fit completely, and then
My
a stovepipe
canner and my
that I
pipe
tied
don't quite
down
match up, so I have a bunch of
outside in a
aluminum foil.
burner,
And then
and
I have
then
a
there's a
lid
lid
with
on
a
top with a
towel, and you can
towel.
kind of see
If
the
you look
steam
up right
rising up.
next
If
to
you
the
look at
towel, you'll
the
see some steam coming out.
trees, the
The towel just keeps
evergreens
it from
right
dripping
there.
back down onto the silks. And the silks are hung
And
in the center of that
then
tube
I've got it tied down
with
2
some
ways to try
newsprint
to
and
keep it from
paper
falling over.
to
And then I'm
catch
steaming it for an hour per
any dye that
jacquard's
comes off of the piece
directions.
and make sure it doesn't
And
get on any other
it's
dyes. So you kind
hanging
of
in the
roll it
center,
up
wrapped
and
in
then hang it in the center.
newsprint,
The
and then I've
jacquard
made
red
a little
label
bag for
said
it
to
rather than doing the
work with
aluminum
it
foil
for an
thing. So I
hour
think
and a half
that will work really
of
well,
steaming. So
but
I waited
we'll
till I
see.
saw steam come out,
I also added
and then
some
I
marbles to
timed
my
it for an hour
canner
and a
so I can
half.
hear if it's
And we're done cleaning
boiling
my
away
garage at the
all of the
same
water,
time.
so I know how much water is in there.
It's a pretty cool
That's a
setup. It's a
grandma
little
trick.
precarious, so I
But
did
yep, that's my setup.
make sure I tied it
I'll see
down
you
both to my
in an
house
hour.
and to the propane bottle. And then that's that big chunk that was hanging in the center there. It's 3 layers of newsprint. I had 2 different colors of newsprint. And then all of the silks are rolled up in between those 3 layers. So 3 layers, then a silk, 3 layers, then a silk, 3 layers, then a silk. And I was surprised how little came off of the piece. And I'm unrolling these pretty warm. They are definitely very hot when they come out. Um, so I waited just a little bit to unroll them. And you're going to see me let some roll out, and then the sample piece. I went and got one of my cans to weigh down the pieces of paper. So this is that sample piece that I'll show you in a minute. Comes out a lot brighter than it has stayed. I've been kind of hanging it around the house just to see how quickly um, the color fades. But for this one, the color faded pretty quickly. I kind of wonder because it was in the very center if it got steamed enough. So you'll see the vibrance about 2 weeks later coming up in the reveal, and it's definitely lighter than it is here. A lot of the paint washed out. This is pre-washing. So here's the reveal. After you saw me unroll it, I took it to the sink and washed it with shampoo and conditioner, and it faded, but I still think it's beautiful. And I hope you like this content and like